Hi, welcome to a brand new video of the Targeted Individual Program, Target Individual Experience. Um, so again, I'm up late, can't sleep. Okay, my insomnia is really, really bad. Um, I was trying to go to bed early because I just said the word. When I said the word really, really bad, it was a car honking outside. So what I did, I got some effects, right? So for example, that's the honking, okay? So they'll usually honk like that all hours of the day, hours of the night. And then I got um, the police siren, okay? Okay, so uh, they will do that too, but at a low volume, okay? And then I also got the fire truck, which they will do also again in low volume. So I got these sound effects so I can replicate what it is that they do. Like for example, if I'm doing a video, I mentioned about certain words because you guys can't hear the car honking outside. So when I say certain words, I will use the car honking to simulate what it is that they do to me, right? When they're surveilling me, and also when I'm on the remote door monitoring. Okay, so the background image you see here is that of a wireless receiver transmitter. Okay, that they developed. That's the fingertip, right? And that's to show you how small it is. There are some that's even smaller. Okay, this is this one, uh, the new link, right? But it's actually bigger than this. But this one here, they say is for reading biosignals. Okay, so they'll implant it in the body of a person, and this device will transmit information about the body. Okay, so people, think that these things again are not a reality, but it certainly is. And they have tried to demonize and uh, call people who have been talking about these things for decades conspiracy therapists. Sorry, see how tired I am? Conspiracy uh, theorists. Okay, and so like I said, I have to do what I have to do. It is one of my purpose. It is to bring truth to light, to expose what it is that they do it, particularly my targeting. So I uploaded some videos earlier that I took during the day. I went to Pam, and then I came back. And since I've been in the house, they've been using family members again to target me. Okay, particularly my sister, and again knocking on the walls. As I said, who it is that's been targeting me. Um, Also, car honking, police sirens. They do this kind of hit and run thing. Again, sending me subliminal message about, taking away my disability. Okay, or reducing my disability. It depends, I guess. Day, what have you. But it's the same subliminal messages over and over again. Okay. But I wanted to do a video on people who blow the whistle on corruption, on wrongdoing, particularly within uh, U.S. government agencies, and how instead of them being celebrated, they are punished and their lives are destroyed. But while I was doing that, something say, you know what, do a search on um, brain implants, particularly wireless ones. Okay, and I came upon this article. Okay, let me get the article so you guys can see. And as much as I search about for these articles or for information on mind control technology, stuff like that, I've never really seen this article. Okay. Now I suspect that they tried to remove this from the internet, or possibly whenever you do certain searches, it depends on how you phrase it or how you word it, in order for you to get the information that you're looking for. And they do this on purpose to make it hard for you to find certain types of information. But this was an article that was written in December 2018, right? And it says, how the CIA use brain surgery to make 6 remote control dogs. Okay? Newly released files from the Behavior Modification or Mind Control Project, conducted as part of the infamous MK Ultra, revealed the CIA experimented in more than controlling humans with psychotropic drugs, electrical shock, and radio wave. Okay, radio wave, right? I talk about silent sound, spread spectrum technology. They also create field operational remote control dogs. Now, mind you, this was in the 1960s, right? 50s and 1960s. Okay. The document were provided under the Freedom of Information Act FOIA by John Greenwald, founder of the Black Vault, a site specializing in declassified government records. In one declassified letter, releases file such and such, I'm not going to read it, a redacted individual writes to a doctor whose name has also been redacted with advice about launching a laboratory for experiments in animal mind control. The writer of the letter is already an expert in the field, whose earlier work had culminated with the creation of 6 remote control dogs, which could be made to run, turn, and stop. As you know, I spent about 3 years working in the research area of rewarding electrical stimulation of the brain, the individual writes. In the laboratory, we performed a number of experiments with rats. In the open field, we employed dogs of several breeds. The letter writer characterized the work with remote controlling dogs as a success, describing a demonstrated procedure for controlling the free field behavior of an unrestrained dog. Attached to the letter is the writer's final report on his earlier research, published in 1965, titled Remote Control Behavior with Rewarding Electrical Stimulation of the Brain, with the principal investigator's name redacted. The specific aim of the research program was to examine possibilities of controlling the behavior of a dog in an open field by means of remotely triggering electrical stimulation to the brain, report states. Such a system depends on its effectiveness on 2 properties of electrical stimulation delivered to certain deep lying structures of the dog brain: the well-known reward effect and a tendency for such stimulation to initiate and maintain locomotion in the direction which is accompanied by the continued delivery of stimulation. Delivering electrical stimulation to a dog brain involves some gruesome side effects, including infection of the electrode site due to failure of the surgical wound to heal. After trying out a plastic helmet, they instead settled on a new surgical technique that involved embedded the electrode entirely within the mount of dental cement on the skull and running the lead subcutaneously to a point between the shoulder blades, where the leads are brought to the surface and affixed to a standard dog harness. After implanting electrode deep into the subject's dog's brain, a battery pack and stimulator was added to the harness, through which signals could be sent to the electrode. The stimulator had to be reliable and capable of sufficient voltage output to be usable in the face of expected impedance variation across individual dogs. At least by 1967, when the letter was written, it seemed unlikely that remote control dogs were ever used in the field. As the letter writer outlines some of the limitations and challenges of any follow-up program going forward, behavior control was limited to the distance of 100 to 200 yards at most, they write in the letter. Other concerns are more mundane, such as letters speculating regarding where the CIA might find a suitable open field nearby. Still, the prospect of a potential new laboratory seems to fire the letter's writer's imagination, who describe potential experimentation on a range of species should they want to move past basic research, i.e. rat work. C00002, whatever, is far from the only brainwashing modification document released by the Black Vault involving animals. Numerous other files pertain to budgeting and acquisition of animal experimentation. One file, which has been previously declassified, details with heavy redaction the practical possibilities in training and equipping cats for foreign situation field work. Okay? All right. So, radio frequency implants. This is in 1965. Okay? How advanced do you think they are now? When you see all these YouTube videos talking about, controlling mind, it's not there yet. It's, microchip implant, it's not there yet. It's all a lie. Okay, it's a deception. They're deceiving you. They are far more advanced than they would like you to believe. This is why we as TIs who are victims of non-consensual experimentation, we know the truth. We know how they can direct us to go where they want us to go. And I've spoken about this numerous times in many of my videos, where I talked about early on in my targeting. I would get up on a Saturday, get on a train, go to Barnes and Nobles on 14th Street. And it was like a routine thing I would do every other Saturday because I had my son on 2 Saturdays out of the week, 2 weekends out of the week. And so the 2 weekends that I didn't have him, on a Saturday morning, I would just get up, go to Barnes and Noble, 14th Street. It would be some guy or two, well, maybe a few of them, right? But they all observant me. But there'll be 1 or 2 of them at the door, okay? And they would give me a thumbs up sign, or they would tap their nose, okay? until I had to fight the urge not to go. Till when I realized that I was being controlled. And when I stopped going, when I made that conscious effort, whenever I got up and I felt that urge to put on my clothes and go, I would lay in bed. And I remember the first Saturday that I didn't go in the afternoon, they basically ran about a couple of hours, okay, of, here's a good sound effect of this, okay? And it was loud. It was loud. And then the other Saturday, I didn't go. It's the same thing. And then they realized that, hey, he must come to the realization that something is going on, and so he stopped going. Then they would send the police cars. When I get up in the morning, they know because they were observing my biosignal, right? My consciousness, so that when I open my eyes, I would hear. That's what I would hear. Right? It would be whoop or whoop whoop. Okay. And you know, it was scary. Let me tell you, they had me so paranoid. It really did. You know, I'm still paranoid, but not to the point where whereas like I just in my body just felt very weak. My nerves was unsettled. You know, I was barely eating. Now, mind you, before all of this, I was going through a deep depression. So I lost a whole bunch of weight. Okay? And literally, like my clothes look so big on me. You know, literally, like my headspace was not where it needed to be. And they know this. Because they caused this. They caused it. And then they start to, well, I shouldn't say start, but they've done it before. But now you'll see they start to use the people around you or the people who you meet to incorporate them into targeting you. And so when I decided, when I was doing the research, which they didn't want me to do, because every time I would try to go onto certain sites, they would I would be hit with a denial request. Okay? A denial of service request. Okay? And I was like, what? You know, I was like, wait, I was on this site a couple of days ago. So they were trying to prevent me from, finding out certain information. Again, talked about this in the tactics and definition of a coercive persuasion program. Okay. So let me before I continue. So here's the PDF. This is from the Black Vault, which is a site that you should all bookmark and comb through or look through, because there's a wealth of information here, all declassified information. Okay, and as I said, it is the largest online Freedom of Information Act document clearinghouse in the world. The research efforts here are responsible for the declassification of millions of pages released by the U.S. government and military. This is the 114-page report on these experimentations. Okay, so you can find all the documents that has been declassified. MK Ultra documents, even the FBI, the military. So it says remote control of behavior with rewarding electrical stimulation of the brain. Okay? And what it says here? 1950, 1962, something like this. 1962 to September 1965. Okay? So like I said, don't let them fool you or even try to screw you. They've been lying, and they've been getting away with non-consensual experimentation, hiding it under national security, public safety. Okay, setting up and trapping selected victims who have been chosen for experimentation, trying to set them up in order to silence if the individuals become aware of what was going on and what had been done to them. Okay? And when we come out and we speak the truth about what has been done, we are punished. Okay? Just as how the U.S. destroyed the lives of whistleblower, they destroyed the lives of non-consensual human experimentees who has blown the whistle on their illegal experimentations. Okay? So this document from Tech Dirt, this article, I don't even know why I keep saying these things, but again, I'm tired. Insomnia is kicking my butt. But I'm trying to do this to educate people, to make people become aware of the lies that they're being told, the deception, and so that people can have a more critical way of thinking and a more open mind to when people like us as TIs say that we are and had been non-consensual victims of human experimentation committed by the U.S. government and its security, law enforcement, military, and public institutions and agencies. Okay? So let me just read this. This is a short article. Okay? One of the things we've heard over and over again from defendants of the NSA surveillance program is that Edward Snowden is somehow not a whistleblower because he could have just gone through the proper channels to alert people to abuse internally at the NSA. Now, come on now. Even in police departments, the articles I've read where you have cops blowing the whistle. And what do? They get fired, they get labeled right with a mental illness, their career is destroyed, they literally become targeted individuals. Okay? So of course, to most people, that seems quite laughable. They know what happened. Washington Post has an article detailing how the government has destroyed the lives of various whistleblowers from within the intelligence community who chose to go through the proper channel to voice their complaint. It's not pretty. One of those discussed is Thomas Drake, whom we've written about often. He's now been reduced to working at an Apple store because the government has more or less, I'm not going to say blackball, I'm going to say whiteball him. Okay? It's white supremacy here. This is their mentality. Dark triad personality type. Very retaliatory. Okay? When you expose them for who they are. Okay? So such that he can't get a job utilizing his actual skills. Bizarrely, he tells the story of Attorney General Eric Holder, who was in charge of the case against him that collapsed completely when it went to court, coming in to shop for a new iPhone. Now, do you think it's a coincidence that the Attorney General walked into a store where this individual worked, Thomas Drake? You think it's a coincidence? Okay? So last year, he was working when he spotted an unlikely customer, Attorney General Eric Holder. Eric H. And the reason why they show their face to the people that blow the whistle, who they criminalize and destroy their lives, is because they want them to feel, they want the whistleblower to feel bad, right? So they come and they'll look at you like, yeah, you should have shut your mouth, you should have kept quiet. Like really? Because again, corruption is rampant in the U.S. government, security agencies, military, the powers that be, those in positions of authority and positions of power. Okay, they live by their own rules, which is different from the rest of us. Okay, and when you expose them for who they are, they will retaliate against you in the most fierce way and destructive way. Okay? So, Drake introduced himself and asked, "Do you know why they have come after me?" "Yes, I do," Holder said. "But do you know the rest of the story?" he asked. Holder quickly left with a security detail, Drake said. They cover others like Richard Barlow, who blew the whistle on the CIA lying to Congress about whether or not Pakistan could use some F-16 it was about to buy from the U.S. to hold and potentially launch nuclear weapons. He went through the proper channel to alert officials of the mistake, and 3 days later, he was fired. He went through the proper channel to alert officials of the mistake, and 3 days later, he was fired. Even though a GAO report vindicated Barlow and said his statements were reasonable and that he was clearly fired as a retaliatory move. He was unable to get another job in the government, saying record was smeared. He now lives out near Yellowstone's in a mobile home and refers to himself as seriously damaged, burnt out intelligence officer who now suffer from PTSD. Okay? Now, as TIs, I can tell you, we suffer from PTSD, without a doubt. Okay? The article has a few more stories like this one. Principal people who blew the whistle, and even when they were later vindicated, it made it impossible to get their jobs back or new jobs, or in some case, even to get money owed to them. And people wonder why Snowden chose the path that he did. Sure, the other countries where he may end up don't have great track record either. But the U.S. now has a well-established track record of doing serious harm to whistleblowers, especially within the intelligence community. Now, I always talk about, how they try to project who they are onto us. Okay? And so when you see your perps, the perps around you, behave in a retaliatory way, understand where they're getting it from, where it came from. Okay? So you won't be surprised. So, like I said, so they're, very retaliatory, me blowing the whistle. Right? And then they've been very, very active, a lot more than usual, but send me a subliminal message about taking away my disability because I exposed what it is that they were doing. And I've said, if that's what they want to do, there's nothing I can do about it. Okay? Do I regret exposing them? No, I don't. No, I don't. Why? Because if exposing them means that they won't be able to do this to people going forward, then it was worth it. Yes, my life is destroyed. Yes, family situation is all effed up. But you see, people never really see and understand, when a person, who think beyond themselves, okay? And particularly if you have children. They may say, oh, he's a fool, they're going to target his kids, what have you. No. Because going forward, if they come after my kids, if something happened to my kids, if they try to set my kids up, okay, they will have a better chance of exposing what was done to them because it was done to me, and I have documented it. Okay? Not only that, but I have told them, and will continue to tell them, the truth, so they can be aware. Because one of the most important things that we lack as individuals, particularly when we're young, is self-awareness, true self-awareness. Because the vast majority of us did not learn that. We wasn't taught that. And particularly in the Black community, we are easy picking for the psychopaths, the sociopaths, the dark tribe personality types within the U.S. government to run all kinds of programs, psychological, all kinds of experiments, psychological, biological, neurological. Okay? Because as Dr. Robert Heath says, it's cheaper to experiment on N-words than animals. And that always stuck in my mind. Something I can never forget. Why? Because the attitudes of these people have not changed. The people who are running these agencies today, it have not changed, and they've shown it time and time again. But yet, they can damage you, physically damage you, neurologically damage you, psychologically damage you, socially damage you, economically damage you. And they think that it's okay. It's all right. And then retaliate against you for exposing what it is that they're doing. Okay? Well, I say retaliate all you want. Because the world know exactly who you are. The world knows exactly the dark tribe personality types are the ones that are running these agencies, and they are committing all sorts of crime, getting away with it. And there will be a time when they will be held accountable. Okay, let me read a quick side article here. A U.S. Marshal, okay, who again talk about, these people, the abuse, their position. U.S. Marshal indicted for abusing access to cell phone location data to run personal searches. Give anyone access to tons of sensitive personal information, and is bound to result in abuse. Give cops access to this data, and the abuse is guaranteed. Why? Because law enforcement officers, for a reason unfathomable to regular people, face far fewer consequences for violating internal policies and breaking laws. Do you want me to read that again? Hold on now. This one deserves a sound effect. Okay. What sound effect should I use? Okay, let's see. You gotta forgive me. Like I said, I'm tired, so you know, it's every day is a rough day. but I gotta go pick up my kids, spend some time with them, and even though I'm being targeted, you know, they will, I endure it. I endure it. Sometimes they get to me. Like the other day, I was telling Ethan, I was like, "Why's your hand? Why every time you see me, you put your hand behind your head?" It's like, "Oh, because my head is scratching." I said, "Well, stop doing that, okay?" You know what I'm saying? Because I know it's not him; they're controlling him, right? And again, many people don't believe that, but again, there's plenty of evidence out there to let you know they can control you. I talk about how sometimes they'll have me targeting myself with these hand signals, and I do it every day now. It's a regular thing now, and so what I've done is develop a defense mechanism. So when I do certain things with my hands and my fingers, I do something else to counter what I just did. Okay, this is what they call involuntary movement, right? Where your parts of your body move, but you're not consciously doing it. Okay. Um, Let me see here. Okay, let's do this one. Let's do this one. All right. You guys got to excuse me. And, you guys gonna hear the sound effect. Try to make the video a little more interesting. Okay, so if you guys don't think it's more interesting, please forgive me. I'm gonna get better. Okay, I'm gonna get better. So let me read that again. Okay. Give anyone access to tons of sensitive personal information, and it's bound to result in abuse. Give cops access to this data, and abuse is guaranteed. Why? Because law enforcement officers, for a reason unfathomable to regular people, face far fewer consequences for violating internal policies and breaking the law. Okay? So what sound effects I'm gonna drop? Drop a bomb on them, please. That was a huge explosion there. Can you say he blew the crap out of them up? Okay? All right? So let's continue. Regular people get fired, cops get wrist slaps, and a few weeks of bad press. Abuse of sensitive law enforcement database is so commonplace. It's just become more unremarkable noise generated by news cycles. More than half of Minnesota's law enforcement officers misuse access to driver's license database. That scandal managed to raise eyebrows for perhaps half a day back in 2013. More than 5,550 officers, and yet it's little more than a data point a decade later. Why? Because it keeps happening, and so very little is done in response. 25 Denver PD officers were caught abusing access to sensitive law enforcement database. Nearly every one of the officers received nothing more than a written reprimand, rather than the criminal penalties the same PD would inflict on regular people who unlawfully access sensitive information. Every so often, a cop receives a severe punishment, but these small abnormalities only highlight more common the abuse. And the reason why they'll throw one of their own under the bus, again, is to make it look like they're doing something. Never mind the hundreds more or the thousands more that they do nothing about. Okay? This is how they operate. Okay? This is how they operate. Okay? And as I said, nothing, okay, in the background. That's what happened. Okay. So also, let me read the article out. Just certain things that's popping back up in my head. So anyway, an Ohio cop was fired for using law enforcement tools to spy on ex-wives and their relatives. Two police officers in California were hit with criminal charges for using DMV and other government records to screen women they were interested in dating. A Michigan police officer did the same thing, resulting in an ultra-rare criminal conviction. Here's another abnormality, not in terms of abuse, which continues to be widespread, but that a law enforcement officer might be punished for misusing law enforcement database. The DOJ is pursuing criminal charges against a U.S. Marshal who abused access to cell phone data to run searches on people for purely personal reasons. Adrian Pena, 48, of Del Rio, Texas, made his initial appearance in federal court yesterday in the Western District of Texas. According to court documents, Pena allegedly unlawfully used a law enforcement service operated by Securus Technologies, Inc., Securus for personal reason, including to obtain cell phone location information relating to multiple individuals with whom the defendant had personal relationships and their spouse. Pena obtains this information by uploading false and fraudulent documents to the Securus system and by certifying that those documents were official documents giving permission to obtain the relevant individual cell phone location information. The indictment also note the U.S. Marshal lied to the Inspector General investigators about his abuse, downplaying his unauthorized search as nothing more than testing or demonstrations for others like his wife. The system Pena allegedly access is run by Securus, a company that has its own questionable history. In 2015, it was caught ignoring its own internal safeguards to capture privileged calls between prisoners and their legal reps. Nothing much happened to the company due to its almost monopolistic stranglehold on prison phone service. That led to the company catching heat a few years later for providing law enforcement with unfettered access to cell location data harvested from nearly every cell phone user in the country. Okay? That's the database the U.S. Marshal apparently had access to, and the system was easy to beat. According to the indictment, the database could be duped into providing access with nothing more than a blank Microsoft Word document. Okay? Even though the system required users to upload supporting documents justifying the searches, no one appeared to be performing any verification of the upload documents. All Pena had to do was upload literally any document in a supported format and click a box stating that the submitted document was official and granted permission to look at cell phone number request. Okay? To obtain location data relating to these individuals' cellular telephone, Pena uploaded a false and fraudulent document to the Securus LBS platform, including blank pages, award certificates, a list of justification for a merit promotion, letterhead template, and assorted documents. Okay? So any document, one checkbox, and Pena was free to go. Through this process, Pena repeatedly obtained cellular
telephone location data relating to his personal associate and their relative through misrepresentation and without the required official documents or authorization. These queries were performed for personal and unofficial reason and were not authorized by the United States Marshal Service, the Udall Sheriff Police Office, or any other law enforcement agencies or intelligence agencies. That's it. That's the process. That's easy to bypass age restriction on the YouTube video. Just plug in some fake info and Sally Ford. Uh, Except it is not a red band trailer being accessed, but sensitive location data, including the target's phone current location. Safeguard are supposed to do something. The one Securus has in place do nothing. While it may be impossible for Securus employees to determine what is or isn't actual restriction for a search, a cursory examination of, I don't know, a blank Microsoft Word document should have made it obvious someone was cheating the system. And if it's wrong to expect Securus to second guess uploads, law enforcement agencies should be more enraged in this process and ensuing in as close to real life as possible that officers aren't abusing the system. While it's good this U.S. Marshal actions were exposed, it didn't happen until he had abused the system more than a dozen times and sought to delay reaction does very little to head off future abuse or ensure sensitive location data pertaining to millions of U.S. cell phone users doesn't become a plaything for law enforcement. Okay, so I just wanted to read this because again, talk about how these people, they're criminals. They're criminals with badges. Okay, and they will throw one of their own under the bus to take the focus off of the majority of them who are corrupt. They're bad police officers. They are, without a doubt. Okay, and a lot of them who are religious use religion to recruit street perps, particularly with SSTIs, to surveil, follow, poison our food, drug us covertly. Okay. They've been doing this for a very, very long time. Okay. And like I said, they may try to or limit my views on YouTube. That's okay. Because hopefully people will find their way to my video and start looking and understanding and realize that this needs to stop. Needs to end because this is based on deception, lies, non-consensual experimentation, and they think that they've created a way in which they can experiment on us and get away with it and to keep us silent. Okay? And as I said, get away with it. Let me get the sound effects. So when I said because they think they can get away with it. Okay. Very low now. All right. So this is what I will do going forward, particularly when I'm doing these articles as they're sitting out there in their police vehicles using the sirens. Okay. Because again, they think that no one is going to believe us because they're in the position of authority. Okay. And a lot of what they do is unofficial. So it becomes very hard for anybody who's looking into this stuff to get documentation, right? Or if they do get documentation, it would be heavily redacted. This is why I do what I do. This is why I expose it. I do my videos to show people what's being done, to speak about what has happened to me and others in this program. To think back, to figure out what it is that they did. Okay? And again, hiding technologies for mind control, for brainwashing, for indoctrination with no touch. You don't have to be in a facility or lab. You can be in your house, in your bed, your apartment, what have you, walking down the street, and they can still program your mind, particularly if you have a microchip implant. Okay? Like I said, I talk about years ago how, even young children as young as, I think it was like 16 to 18 months, using this technology, they can prime them to where they can control their mind to do certain things. Okay? But I'm glad that some of these other articles are starting to appear online because we couldn't find them before. Okay? Now this Tech Dirt, you guys should save this website. Here's another trending post I'm not going to get into. Okay, but these are related posts. It says Phoenix City Council says PD can have surveillance drone without any policy in place because some officer recently got shot. When I tell you how they plan these things out, so they can implement policy and implement these things, and a lot of people don't want to believe it. Okay? So NSA Stellar Wind program was almost completely useless, hidden from FISA court by NSA and FBI. Okay? And this is from 2015, which I'm not even going to get into right now. Okay? But when they use the FISA court to hide their crimes, their corruption, it tells you that even the courts are corrupt, right? And these secret courts that's supposed to stop people from finding out information about what the U.S. government is doing, the crimes that they've been committed. The agencies, I should say, been committing crimes, and to hide it. But anyway, let me just read this. I'm not going to read. I'm just going to read the headline. So NSA Stellar Wind program was almost completely useless, hidden by FISA court by NSA and FBI. From the lies on top of lies on top of legal quackery department, okay? And that's just genius because guess what? I have a sound effect for that. Okay? I do have a sound request. A sound effect for that. All right? Hold on a second. You gotta have some humor because I'm telling you, when they attack you the way that they do us as TIs, it is to keep us in a saddened state, in a heightened, hyper sensitive state, to where when they're targeting us and somebody might talk to us and because of our PTSD, we started yelling or what have you. Some may actually be screaming. There are times when you have to what's this here? Okay, trying to find that. Where is it? Okay, there it is. Here we go. Okay, so let me read that again. From the lies on top of lies on top of legal quackery, the department. Okay? And guess what? Okay? I mean, what do you expect? Right? No one wants to believe us as TIs. Okay? And I shouldn't say no one, but a lot of people don't want to believe us. Okay? Because those that have the power, the authority to manipulate us covertly, to manipulate others using various tactics and methods, using technology to experiment, to control, harming us in a myriad of ways, and then try to deny us our disability, or take away our disability, because we decided we're going to speak up about what was done to us. Okay? So, man, I gotta get up in a few hours because kids are off from school. Today was they have no more school. Yesterday actually. So I gotta get up early, but I can't go to sleep because of my insomnia. Okay, so I gotta try and force myself to sleep, and hopefully I can get up early, so I can appropriate them for the day. Okay, so like I said, don't let them fool you, or even try to screw you. Understand that they have been working on these technologies since the 1950s. And the lies that they will tell you, because they want to hide it, because they have damaged countless Americans and those living here in the United States and abroad, experimenting with these technologies. Okay? But we're here to say we're going to expose it so that they don't do this to anybody else going forward. At least bring awareness to where other people are aware. All right. So I will speak to you guys on the next targeted individual program. Let me put my text up there. There you go. The targeted individual program.